A single bee visits up to 5,000 flowers in a single day. Without them, 70% of the crops we depend on would disappear within a year. But here's what most people don't know. Bees don't just make honey. They communicate through dance. They vote on major decisions, and some species can recognize human faces. This is the secret world of bees. Inside a beehive, up to 60,000 individuals work as one superorganism. Each bee has a specific role, and the colony operates with a level of efficiency that rivals any human organization. Worker bees, all female, make up the majority of the hive. They clean, build, guard, and forage. Their roles change as they age, moving from nursery duties to construction, then finally to the dangerous work of collecting nectar and pollen. The queen is the mother of them all. She can lay up to 2,000 eggs per day, and she'll do this for up to 5 years. But she's not a ruler. She doesn't give orders. The hive makes decisions collectively. Drones, the male bees, have one purpose: to mate with a queen from another hive. They don't collect food, they don't defend the colony, and when winter comes, they're expelled from the hive and left to die. It sounds cruel, but in the world of bees, survival of the colony is all that matters. When a forager bee discovers a rich source of flowers, she doesn't just return and hope others follow. She performs what scientists call the waggle dance. This is one of the most sophisticated forms of non-human communication ever observed. The bee moves in a figure-8 pattern, waggling her body in the middle section. The angle of the waggle, relative to the sun, tells the other bees the exact direction to fly. The duration of the waggle tells them how far away the flowers are. It's a map encoded in movement. And it gets stranger. If the flower patch is particularly good, the bee performs the dance with more enthusiasm, recruiting more foragers. If it's mediocre, the dance is half-hearted, and fewer bees bother to investigate. They're not just communicating location, they're expressing quality and urgency. Austrian scientist Karl von Frisch discovered this in the 1940s, and it earned him a Nobel Prize, because until then, no one believed insects were capable of symbolic language. When a hive becomes overcrowded, about half of the colony will leave with the old queen to find a new home. This is called swarming. But before they leave, they send out scout bees to find potential nest sites. These scouts explore cavities in trees, cracks in rocks, empty walls in buildings. When a scout finds a good site, she returns and performs a waggle dance to advertise it. Here's where it gets fascinating. Other scouts visit the proposed sites and return to perform their own dances. The better the site, the more enthusiastic the dance. Gradually, more and more bees start dancing for the best location. This is a voting system. The swarm doesn't move until a consensus is reached. Once enough bees are dancing for the same site, the decision is made. No single bee is in charge. The collective chooses. Scientist Thomas Seeley studied this process for decades and found that bee swarms make better decisions than most human committees. They avoid groupthink, they weigh evidence, and they commit only when the majority agrees. It's democracy in its purest form. A honeybee's stinger is barbed. When she stings a mammal, the stinger lodges in the skin and rips out of her body when she flies away. She dies within minutes. So why do it? Because when the stinger detaches, it releases a pheromone that signals danger to the rest of the hive. It's a chemical alarm that says, "Attack here." The bee sacrifices herself to protect the colony. But not all bees die when they sting. Bumblebees and most solitary bees have smooth stingers and can sting repeatedly without injury. The barbed stinger is unique to honeybees, and it evolved specifically as a defense against large predators. Japanese honeybees have developed an even stranger defense. When a giant hornet invades their hive, hundreds of worker bees swarm the intruder and vibrate their flight muscles. This creates heat. The temperature inside the swarm rises to nearly 120 degrees Fahrenheit. The hornet dies from overheating. The bees survive. just barely. It's called thermoballing, and it's one of the most coordinated acts of collective defense in the animal kingdom. For a long time, scientists assumed bees operated purely on instinct, but recent studies have shattered that assumption. Bees can count. In experiments, they've been trained to fly through a series of markers and land on the third or fourth one, demonstrating an understanding of numerical order. They can recognize human faces. Researchers showed bees photographs of different people and rewarded them with sugar water when they chose the correct face. The bees learned to identify individuals with over 80% accuracy. They can solve problems. When presented with a puzzle box that requires pulling a string to access nectar, bees figured it out. Even more remarkable, other bees learned by watching. They can understand the concept of zero. In tests, bees chose images with no objects over images with one or two, demonstrating an abstract understanding of nothingness, a concept that took human civilizations thousands of years to develop. And they can experience something close to emotion. When bees are shaken to simulate a predator attack, they behave pessimistically afterward, avoiding uncertain rewards. When given sugar water, they become more optimistic and take more risks. This suggests bees may have something like moods. We're not talking about consciousness as humans experience it, but we're also not talking about mindless automatons. In 2006, beekeepers across the United States began reporting something terrifying. Entire hives were vanishing. The bees simply disappeared, leaving behind their queen and their young. It was called colony collapse disorder. The cause is still debated, but the evidence points to a combination of factors. Pesticides, particularly neonicotinoids, which damage bees' navigation and memory. Varroa mites, parasites that spread viruses and weaken immune systems. Habitat loss, as wildflower meadows are replaced by monoculture farms. Climate change, disrupting the timing of flower blooms. Bee populations have declined by 40% in some regions over the past 2 decades, and this matters far beyond honey production. Bees pollinate almonds, apples, blueberries, cucumbers, pumpkins, and dozens of other crops. Without them, global food systems would collapse, prices would skyrocket, nutrition would suffer. Albert Einstein allegedly said that if bees disappeared, humanity would have 4 years left. That quote probably is fake, but the sentiment isn't far off. Bees are not just insects. They're architects, navigators, mathematicians, and decision makers. They've been on Earth for over 100 million years, surviving mass extinctions and ice ages. The next time you see a bee, don't swat it away. Watch it. Watch how it moves from flower to flower with purpose. Watch how it hovers, adjusts, lands with precision. That tiny creature is part of a system far older and far more intelligent than we ever gave it credit for. And if we lose them, we lose more than honey. We lose a piece of the world that we can't get back. If you found this fascinating, there's more to explore. Subscribe for more deep dives into the natural world. And if you want to help bees, plant native wildflowers, avoid pesticides, and support local beekeepers. Thanks for watching.